First contact in crisis. The alert came during the graveyard shift at Jupiter Monitoring Station Ganymede. Dr. Maya Patel had been staring at the same radiation anomaly graphs for 6 hours when every screen in the control room suddenly flashed red. The massive object materialized just beyond Jupiter's orbit, its sudden appearance defying every known law of physics. "Multiple energy signatures detected," announced the station's eye. "Configuration unknown. Mass approximately 300,000 metric tons, detecting severe power fluctuations." Maya's fingers flew across her haptic interface, bringing up visual feeds from the station's long-range telescopes. The vessel, and there was no doubt it was a vessel, was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. It resembled a crystalline lattice wrapped around a core of swirling energy, its surface reflecting Jupiter's light in impossible patterns. "This is Dr. Maya Patel, lead engineer at JMS Ganymede." She broadcast on all frequencies. "Unknown vessel, please identify yourself." The response came not in words, but in a burst of data that overwhelmed the station's communications array. Maya's engineering background kicked in as she analyzed the patterns. It wasn't random. There was structure to it, mathematics that transcended language. "Station AI, analyze this data stream for mathematical constants," she ordered. Within seconds, the AI had identified multiple universal constants encoded in the transmission. Pi, the gravitational constant. This was first contact, and it was happening on her watch. But something was wrong. The energy readings from the vessel were becoming increasingly erratic. Maya could see distortions in space-time around its power core, rippling outward like waves in a pond. A new transmission came through, this time translated by the AI, using the mathematical basis they'd established. "Emergency. Critical cascade failure in progress. Request immediate assistance. Time to containment failure, 40 Earth hours. Crew, 1,200. Maya's breath caught in her throat. First contact wasn't just happening. It was happening in the worst possible way. If that power core went critical this close to Jupiter, the electromagnetic pulse would fry every piece of human technology in the outer solar system. "This is Dr. Patel. We're receiving your distress call. Can you provide technical specifications of your power systems?" The response came faster this time, a stream of engineering data that made Maya's eyes widen. The aliens' power generation technology was centuries beyond anything humanity had achieved, but the principles, the underlying physics, she could understand those. "Director Edwards," she called, connecting to her superior on Earth. "We have a situation that requires immediate attention." "I'm seeing the data, Dr. Patel," Edwards replied, his hologram materializing in the control room. "The Security Council is convening now. Standard first contact protocols." "With respect, sir," Maya interrupted, "we don't have time for protocols. Their containment system is failing. The math doesn't lie. When that core goes critical, it'll take out everything from here to the asteroid belt." She pulled up the alien vessel's schematics, highlighting the cascading failure in their power systems. "But I think I can help them. Their technology is advanced, but physics is physics. They're using a form of quantum containment we theorized, but never managed to build. The principles are similar to my work on fusion containment fields." "Dr. Patel," Edwards said carefully, "you're suggesting we ignore first contact protocols and send our leading fusion engineer to an alien vessel we know nothing about. I'm suggesting we save 1,200 lives and prevent an explosion that would set human space exploration back 50 years. Maya's voice was firm. "And I'm volunteering." The Security Council's debate lasted 6 precious hours. Maya spent every minute studying the alien vessel's specifications, her mind racing with possibilities. When approval finally came, she was already suited up and waiting in the station's shuttle bay. "Dr. Patel," Edward's hologram appeared one last time. "The Council has authorized this mission with one condition. If you can't stabilize their core within 24 hours, you evacuate. We'll try to tow the vessel into deep space with mass drivers." Maya nodded, knowing that plan would never work. The vessel's mass was too great, the time too short. This was humanity's one shot at preventing disaster and making first contact work. As her shuttle approached the alien vessel, its crystalline surface seemed to pulse with internal light. A docking port irised open, matching the specifications they transmitted. Maya took a deep breath, double-checking her suit's systems. JNS Ganymede. This is Patel. Beginning docking procedure. She guided the shuttle carefully, matching the alien vessel's rotation. Let's hope all that time in the simulator pays off. The docking collar engaged with a soft thud. Maya gathered her tools and engineering tablet, her heart pounding. Beyond that airlock was technology humanity had only dreamed of, and 1,200 lives depending on her understanding it in time. Starting airlock cycle, she reported. If anything happens to me, all my analysis is uploaded to the station's mainframe. Tell the next engineer they'll find my notes on quantum containment field harmonics particularly interesting. The inner airlock door opened, revealing a corridor that seemed to be made of flowing light. A tall, silvery figure waited beyond. Humanoid, but clearly not human. Its movements were too fluid, its proportions slightly wrong. The alien raised a hand in what was unmistakably a greeting. When it spoke, its words were translated through Maya's comm system. Dr. Maya Patel. I am Chief Engineer Zora Ven. Welcome aboard the Starweaver. We have very little time. Maya nodded, her engineer's mind already cataloging the differences between human and alien technology. Show me your engine room. We've got work to do. As she followed Zora Ven through the crystalline corridors, Maya couldn't help but smile. Humanity's first steps into a larger universe would be taken not with speeches or ceremonies, but with a wrench in hand and a problem to solve. She wouldn't have it any other way. The impossible choice. The Starweaver's engine room defied everything Maya thought she knew about spacecraft design. Instead of the cramped utilitarian spaces she was used to, she stood in a vast chamber that seemed to pulse with living light. At its center, a column of swirling energy reached from floor to ceiling, the quantum core that was now threatening to tear itself apart. Our containment fields are failing sequentially, Zora Ven explained, gesturing to holographic displays that floated in the air around them. We've lost 3 layers already. 2 remain. Maya studied the readings, her mind translating alien mathematics into familiar patterns. Your quantum harmonics are destabilizing. Each collapse is accelerating the next. She pulled out her tablet, already running simulations. Why didn't you drop to sublight speeds when the problem first appeared? The alien engineer's silvery skin rippled in what Maya interpreted as distress. We were testing a new form of faster-than-light travel. Something went wrong during the transition. Now we cannot fully power down without triggering a catastrophic cascade. Maya walked around the core, her trained eye noting the subtle distortions in space around it. The aliens had achieved what humanity had only theorized: true quantum containment, harnessing the fundamental forces of reality itself. But they'd pushed too far, too fast, and now physics was demanding its due. Dr. Patel, her comm crackled with Director Edwards' voice. Status report. The situation is worse than we thought. Maya replied, still analyzing data streams. Their containment technology is incredible, but it's also their weakness. Everything's too integrated. They can't shut it down without it falling apart. Can you fix it? Maya watched the core pulse with increasingly erratic patterns. Maybe, but not the way they want me to. She turned to Zora Ven. Your containment fields are failing because they're too perfect. The alien engineer's large, luminous eyes blinked in confusion. Perfection is failure. In this case, yes. Maya projected her own calculations into the air, using the alien ship systems. You've created a quantum system so precisely tuned that when one part fails, everything fails. No redundancy, no inefficiencies, no human error margin. She thought of the early days of fusion research on Earth, of all the failed containment attempts that had taught humanity valuable lessons. We learned the hard way that sometimes you need controlled imperfection. a system that can bend instead of break. "What are you suggesting?" Zaraven asked. Maya took a deep breath. "We need to deliberately destabilize your remaining containment fields." The alien crew members present all moved at once, their silver skin flashing with patterns that needed no translation. Alarm, disbelief, fear. "That would destroy the ship," one of them protested. "No," Maya said firmly. "It would create micro-fluctuations in your quantum matrix, like pressure valves. Release the building energy in controlled bursts instead of one catastrophic cascade." She projected a new simulation, showing how controlled imperfection could prevent total system failure. "But we'd have to do it manually. Your eye can't handle the intuitive adjustments needed. One mistake, and we all die," Zaraven finished. "Dr. Patel," Edwards cut in, "the Council needs to know. What are the chances of success?" Maya looked at her calculations, then at the alien crew watching her with those strange, beautiful eyes. "If we do nothing, success rate is 0. If we try this, maybe 30%. "Those odds are unacceptable," another alien officer said. "Those odds are human," Maya countered. "We built our civilization on taking unacceptable odds and making them work. How many of your crew would survive an evacuation?" "None," Zaraven answered. "Our life pods were integrated with the primary containment systems. They failed first." Maya nodded, her decision made. "Then we have no choice. But I need something from you." She turned to Zaraven. "I need you to trust human instinct over machine precision. Can you do that?" The alien engineer was silent for a long moment, studying Maya with those luminous eyes. Finally, patterns of light rippled across their silver skin. Determination, Maya realized. Maybe hope. "What do you need?" Maya pulled up the ship's neural interface controls. "Full access to your engineering systems, and I need the rest of your crew to understand that things are about to get very unstable in here. It'll look like everything's falling apart before it gets better." "You're asking us to trust our lives to human intuition," the skeptical officer said. "No," Maya corrected, already beginning to interface with the ship's systems. "I'm asking you to trust that sometimes the only way to save something perfect is to make it a little bit human." As her consciousness merged with the ship's systems, Maya felt the immensity of the task before her. She would have to deliberately destabilize the most advanced piece of technology humanity had ever encountered, walking a knife's edge between controlled chaos and total destruction. "Janus Ganymede," she transmitted. "This is Patel. Beginning containment field modulation. If this works, we're about to rewrite everything we know about quantum engineering. If it doesn't..." She managed a small smile. "Well, at least first contact will have been interesting." The core pulsed before her, a heart of captured starlight on the verge of going nova. Maya took a deep breath and began her work, preparing to teach an alien civilization the value of human imperfection. Trust across stars. Maya's consciousness floated in a sea of quantum data. Through the neural interface, she could feel the Star Weaver's systems as extensions of her own body, the failing containment fields like weakening muscles, the quantum core, a heart beating too fast. Zaraven stood beside her, silver hands dancing over holographic controls, translating Maya's human intuition into commands the ship could understand. "First containment field destabilization in 10 seconds, Maya announced. "Everyone not involved in the procedure needs to clear the engine room now." She watched through both human eyes and ship sensors as most of the alien crew retreated to safer areas. Only Zaraven and 2 other engineers remained, their silver skin pulsing with nervous light patterns. "Dr. Patel," Director Edwards' voice came through her comm. "The Council is expressing serious concerns about this approach. They're saying..." "With respect, sir," Maya interrupted, her focus on the quantum readings, "we're past the point of debate. First destabilization beginning now." She reached out through the neural interface, feeling for the quantum harmonics that made up the ship's outermost containment field. The alien technology responded to her touch, beautiful and dangerous as lightning. Carefully, deliberately, she began to introduce errors into its perfect symmetry. The effect was immediate. Alarms blared as the containment field fluctuated wildly. The alien engineers moved to correct it, but Zara Venn held up a hand to stop them. "Trust her," the alien engineer said. "Watch." Through the chaos of the destabilizing field, Maya felt what she was looking for. Microscopic quantum vents forming in the places where she'd introduced imperfection. The building pressure in the core began to release in tiny, controlled bursts. "It's working," she reported, sweat beading on her forehead despite the environmental controls. "The system is learning to breathe." But it wasn't enough. The core's energy was building faster than the small vents could release it. Maya felt the second containment field beginning to buckle under the strain. "We need to go bigger," she said. "Zara Venn, I need direct access to the quantum matrix." The alien engineer's skin flashed with alarm patterns. "That level of access, it's never been granted to anyone outside our species. The neural load could kill you." Maya managed a grim smile. "The explosion will definitely kill us. I'll take maybe over certainly." After a moment's hesitation, Zara Venn placed their silver hands on the control panel. Access codes flowed through the ship's systems like liquid light. Suddenly, Maya's consciousness expanded exponentially. She could feel every quantum particle, every microscopic fluctuation in the ship's massive power system. The sensation was overwhelming. Maya's human mind struggled to process the sheer volume of information. Warning signals flashed across her neural interface. Her brain was operating far beyond safe parameters. "Dr. Patel, your vital signs are reaching critical levels," the JMS Ganymede Medical Eye warned. "Neural activity exceeding human tolerances by 300%. Maya ignored the warnings, focused entirely on the quantum matrix. She began introducing controlled chaos on a massive scale, creating imperfections that would have horrified the aliens' precision-loving engineers. The containment fields writhed and twisted, but they didn't break. "Look," she gasped through gritted teeth. "Look at the pattern." On the holographic displays, the quantum fluctuations were forming an intricate dance. Where there had been rigid order, now there was dynamic stability. A system that could bend and flex with the core's energy pulses. "Impossible," one of the alien engineers whispered. "The mathematics. It's like organized chaos." That's humanity for you." Maya managed a weak laugh. "We specialize in making the impossible work." But her victory was premature. Deep in the quantum matrix, she felt something shift. A cascade of errors she hadn't predicted began to form. The core's energy surged, threatening to overwhelm even her controlled chaos. "No, no, no," she muttered, trying to stabilize the system. Her nose began to bleed from the neural strain. "Something's wrong. The quantum harmonics are collapsing faster than I can compensate." Zara Venn's voice seemed to come from very far away. "Your mind cannot handle this load much longer. You must disconnect. If I disconnect now, we lose everything." Maya pushed deeper into the ship's systems, searching desperately for a solution. The quantum data burned through her consciousness like fire, but somewhere in that inferno of information, she felt something unexpected, a resonance pattern she recognized. "The core," she said suddenly, her eyes wide with realization. "It's not just a power source. It's alive, isn't it? That's why your containment systems are so perfect. They're not just containing energy, they're preserving life." The alien engineers went very still. Finally, Zara Venn spoke. "Yes, the core is a quantum consciousness, a being of pure energy that powers our ships. That is why failure of the containment system would be so catastrophic. We would not just lose power, we would lose a living creature." Maya's mind raced, even as the neural interface warnings reached a fever pitch. She had been approaching this all wrong, trying to impose order on chaos when she needed to do the opposite. "I need to speak to it," she said, "not through the ship's systems, directly. Can you modify the neural interface to allow that? The risk, Zaraven began, is worth taking. Maya finished. Please, trust human intuition one more time. As Zaraven's hands flew over the controls, reconfiguring the neural interface, Maya prepared herself for what would either be first contact on an entirely new level or her last moment of consciousness. The quantum core pulsed before her, no longer just a power source, but a living being in pain. Maya took a deep breath and reached out, not with mathematics or engineering, but with something far more human: empathy. I'm here to help, she thought toward the core. Let me show you how. Dance of two worlds. The moment Maya's consciousness touched the quantum core, everything changed. The ship's systems, the alarms, even her own body seemed distant and unimportant. She floated in an ocean of pure thought and energy, facing a being that existed in dimensions her human mind could barely comprehend. The core's consciousness reached back to her, ancient and curious. It didn't communicate in words or even images, but in pure concepts that bloomed directly in Maya's mind. Pain/fear/confusion rolled over her in waves. The quantum being was trapped in a prison of perfect order, its natural chaos constrained by the containment systems until it could no longer maintain stability. You're not meant to be contained, Maya realized. You're meant to flow, to change, to dance. Understanding/relief flooded through their connection. The being had tried to tell its alien partners this, but their dedication to precision and perfect order had prevented them from truly hearing it. Now, finally, someone understood. Dr. Patel, your neural patterns are becoming dangerously erratic. The medical eye warned. Brain temperature rising. You need to disconnect immediately. Maya ignored it, focusing entirely on the quantum consciousness before her. I can help you, she thought toward it. But you have to trust me. We'll dance together, find a new pattern that works for both you and the ship. Through their connection, she felt the being's hesitation. It had been bound by rigid containment for so long. The idea of freedom was both thrilling and terrifying. Maya sent it memories of her own, of wind and waves, of chaos and order working together. In nature, of the imperfect beauty of human existence. Maya. Zaraven's voice seemed to come from light years away. The core's energy patterns are changing. What are you doing? Teaching it to dance, Maya murmured, blood now trickling from her ears as well as her nose. Through the neural interface, she began to move with the quantum consciousness, guiding it into new patterns that were neither the perfect order of alien design nor pure chaos, but something in between. The being followed her lead, tentatively at first, then with growing confidence. Together, they wove through quantum states like partners in an impossible dance, where the alien containment systems had tried to force the being into rigid patterns. Maya showed it how to flow naturally while maintaining enough structure to power the ship safely. Warning klaxons transformed into new harmonies as the ship's systems adapted to the changing energy patterns. The quantum matrix that Maya had destabilized began to reconstruct itself, not in the perfect crystalline patterns of before, but in flowing, organic forms that could flex and adapt. Remarkable, one of the alien engineers breathed, watching the holographic displays. The containment fields, they're stabilizing, but in configurations our computers say should be impossible. That's the point, Maya managed through gritted teeth. The neural load was becoming unbearable, but she couldn't stop now. Sometimes the impossible is exactly what you need. Through their connection, she felt the quantum being's joy as it discovered this new way of existing. Neither bound nor completely free, but in a dynamic balance that could sustain both its nature and the ship's needs. It was working. Then something went wrong. Deep in the quantum matrix, a critical junction began to fail. The years of rigid containment had weakened it beyond recovery, and now it was collapsing. Maya felt the quantum being's panic as the destabilization threatened to tear apart their newly established patterns. No, she gasped. We're too close. The medical eyes warnings reached a fever pitch. Critical neural overload imminent. Automatic disconnect initiating in 10 seconds. Maya knew if she disconnected now, everything would be lost. The quantum being would destabilize, the ship would be destroyed, and 1,200 lives would end in a cascade of energy that would devastate the outer solar system. But if she stayed connected, trying to stabilize the failing junction, the neural load would likely kill her. Through the haze of pain and neural feedback, Maya felt a gentle touch on her arm. Zara Ven stood beside her, silver skin glowing with determination. "You are not alone," the alien engineer said, and placed their hands on the neural interface controls. Suddenly, Maya felt new strength flow into her consciousness. Zara Ven had linked their own neural patterns to hers, helping to bear the impossible load. One by one, the other alien engineers did the same, joining their minds to support her connection with the quantum being. Together, Zara Ven's thoughts merged with hers. "Show us how to dance." With their combined strength supporting her, Maya reached out to the failing junction. The quantum being met her there, and together they began to weave a new pattern. Human intuition, alien precision, and quantum consciousness merged into something entirely new, a harmony of three species working as one. The junction began to stabilize, transformed by their combined effort into something that was neither purely mechanical nor purely energy, but a living bridge between states of being. Throughout the ship, the quantum matrix followed suit, restructuring itself into patterns that could support both technological needs and quantum life. As the last connections fell into place, Maya felt the quantum being's gratitude wash over her like a wave of starlight. Then, mercifully, darkness took her. Legacy of first contact. Maya woke to the soft hum of medical equipment and the strange, silvery light of the Starweaver's medical bay. Her head felt like it had been taken apart and put back together by amateur mechanics, but she was alive. More importantly, she could still feel the ship's systems running smoothly in the back of her mind, a faint echo of her neural connection that hadn't quite faded. "Welcome back, Dr. Patel." Zara Ven's familiar voice came from beside her bed. The alien engineer's skin rippled with patterns that Maya now recognized as relief and friendship. "You have been unconscious for 26 Earth hours." Maya tried to sit up, but her body protested. "The core, the ship. See for yourself." Zara Ven gestured, and a holographic display appeared above Maya's bed. It showed the quantum matrix in its new configuration. Organic, flowing patterns of energy that pulsed with life while maintaining stable power output. "You did not just save our ship, Dr. Patel. You revolutionized our understanding of quantum consciousness integration." "We did it together," Maya corrected, remembering the moment when the alien engineers had joined their consciousness with hers. "None of us could have managed it alone. That is precisely why my people are very interested in continuing this collaboration." A new voice spoke as Director Edwards' hologram appeared in the medical bay. "Dr. Patel, while you were recovering, the Starweaver's captain and I have been in continuous communication with both Earth's Security Council and the aliens' High Command." Maya noticed that Edwards looked both exhausted and exhilarated. "Let me guess, both sides have a lot of questions about what happened here." "Questions, concerns, and intense interest." Edwards smiled. "You should know that your neural logs during the incident have become the most studied pieces of data in human history. Our scientists are calling it the Paddle Protocol, the integration of human intuition with quantum systems. The High Command is equally fascinated," Zara Ven added. "For millennia, we sought perfect order in our technology. Now we understand that sometimes perfection can be found in controlled chaos, in the balance between structure and freedom." The alien engineer's skin flickered with what Maya now recognized as amusement. "Though I must admit, many of our traditional engineers are having difficulty accepting that their most advanced containment systems were essentially keeping our quantum cores in cages." "How is it?" Maya asked, referring to the quantum being at the heart of the ship. "The core consciousness. In response, she felt a gentle brush against her mind. Not the overwhelming flood of their first contact, but a soft greeting. Through their lingering connection, she sensed contentment and gratitude. The quantum being was no longer fighting for survival, but thriving in its new state of dynamic equilibrium. "It's happy," she said, smiling. "It can finally be what it truly is while still helping power the ship." "Which brings us to the future," Edward said. "The Security Council and High Command have agreed to establish a joint research initiative. We're calling it the Quantum Integration Project. The aliens will share their quantum technology, and we'll help them develop new integration protocols based on human intuition and neural interfacing." "They want you to lead it, Dr. Patel," Zaraven said. "Both sides agree. Someone who can bridge the gap between human and alien consciousness, between chaos and order, is exactly what we need." Maya looked at the holographic display again, watching the beautiful dance of energy that represented two civilizations learning from each other. "There's so much we could learn from each other," she said, "not just about technology, but about different ways of thinking, of solving problems." "Indeed," Zaraven agreed. "Already our scientists are discovering that many of our perfect systems could benefit from a touch of human chaos, and I suspect your people will find great value in some of our orderly approaches." "The best of both worlds," Maya mused. She turned to Edwards. "Tell them I accept, but on one condition. I want Zaraven as my co-director. We proved that the real breakthroughs happen when we work together." The alien engineer's skin brightened with patterns of joy and agreement. "I would be honored." "It's already been arranged," Edwards said. "The facility will be built here on Ganymede. Construction begins next month." He paused, looking at Maya with pride. "You know, when we dreamed of first contact, we always imagined grand ceremonies or terrible conflicts. Nobody expected it would come down to one engineer with a talent for improvisation." Maya reached out mentally, feeling the quantum core's peaceful pulses, the stabilized systems of the ship, and the lingering connection with her alien colleagues. "Maybe that's exactly what first contact needed to be," she said. "Not a clash of civilizations or a formal diplomatic exchange, but simply different species coming together to solve a problem, each bringing their own strengths to the table." She felt the quantum being's agreement, a flash of insight about how the universe itself was built on the interaction of different forces, different patterns, all working together in a cosmic dance. "Besides," she added with a smile, "if we're going to explore the galaxy together, we need to learn to dance together first." As if in response, the quantum core pulsed with a new pattern, one that combined alien precision with human spontaneity. Throughout the ship, humans and aliens watched in wonder as the energy display transformed into something beautiful and new, a sign of things to come, as two civilizations began their journey toward a shared future among the stars.